And we are live with the Ancient Angels podcast. Welcome everybody to the Ancient Angels podcast, brought to you by listeners like you who watch my videos and, skip the ads. Thank you for enduring ads. makes it a lot more easier to continue doing this. So thanks everybody. And the donations. You guys donate and you're amazing. So today we are going to be talking about, I think, something that's pretty important. And the Lord's been putting me on my heart to talk about this a lot lately. And it just so happens there was a very fitting video that recently came out about somebody that was involved in an opportunity to sell their soul. And there was this young, I think he's a rapper of some kind.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
He didn't look like a country singer to me.
No, he didn't look like a country singer. And this is a very important video to play because I want people to understand about selling the soul. And we're going to talk about some stuff about, can you sell your soul? And the answer, I'm going to tell you right now, is yes, actually.
Yeah, we should read Mark chapter 8, because lots of people say that when we talk about, oh, you can't sell your soul because it's not yours. But where we get the idea that you can
is from Jesus,
is literally from Christ himself.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get technical with him, because here's what he says, because it seems actually pretty clear what he's saying. So if you go into, I'm gonna pull it up, Mark chapter 8, and you go skip down to the end.
Yeah.
And
what does it profit a man?
Yeah. So if you go over here and you say, Mark chapter 8, starting with verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Oh.
Yeah. So he's saying like that you can give something in exchange for your soul. So would you call that? Well, that sounds like selling your soul. And he's saying that it doesn't matter what you get here, which you can get things here for your soul, because you can give things in exchange for your soul. So that's what Jesus said. And that's the only reason we even talk about this, is because, that was literally from our Lord himself saying that.
Yep. And that's a truth, because people like to say that, like you said, that silly little expression, you can't sell your soul because you don't own it. Jesus owns it, or whatever. And it's like, bro, Jesus is the one that gave us this idea.
Said that, yeah.
Like, what do you? And like, you can. And 100%, I have dealt with a lot of individuals that have sold their soul. I'm not even joking. I have prayed with these people. It's very real. It's not a joke, and it's not something that you can't just sell your soul and then like think you can get away with a reward that you've been given and then escape with all the rewards. By the way, it doesn't work like that. There is a lot more to that, and there's payment, because demons require payment. And if you give them stuff, if they give you stuff, you have to give them back what they require. And so there's a lot to this, and this is going to be a very weird episode. Me and JT haven't even talked about this, but I love that I just knew that you would be like, of course you can sell your soul. Like, we've never even had this discussion, but yes, you can. And I've met many of people that have. And it's important to understand how it works and how people do it, because a lot of people don't know that they're doing it, and it happens to them slowly. And it can be happening to people, you guys, unbeknownst to yourselves. And I'll explain why and how that works. Because when you understand this, it really kind of sets you free in a lot of ways, and it will give you a lot of peace, and you'll learn it actually makes you a better person, I think, personally, when you understand what it is to actually sell your soul. But it's not just a one and done thing. Okay. It's a process a lot of times. And a lot of times people that are celebrities have done these things. They've gone through this process. And by the time they realize that they've already done this, it's a little too late for them, and they're so deep involved that the only way out is losing every single thing that they have. That's the only way out, because the demon that they've sold their soul to owns it. And it's like, you don't get to, keep your cake and eat it too. Like, it's like, bro, you can't do that. And like the demon is like, if you want to leave, I take back everything and you go back to being homeless. And this is how it works. And unfortunately, people do this in relationships, guys. They do this in relationships and they don't even realize it. They do this in your life. They do this in business, and they don't even realize that that's what's happening. Okay, but I know it's a little more nuanced than what people realize, but I think it's important to talk about it. And one of the things I think we should start with is that video, JT, of that kid talking about that stuff.
Yeah. I can key that up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one thing. One thing real quick though. A way that people often describe selling their souls is just like without the devil involved. They just say, "Oh, that person's sold out."
Yep.
So what does it mean to sell out? It means you've compromised your integrity for money. So you had an ideal and you're willing to sell that. And if you also go back to, was it Matthew chapter 4, Jesus was given the opportunity to sell his. I mean, I don't know that he could have sold his, but I mean, the point is that the deal with the devil was offered to Jesus when he was taken up to a high place, and he was saying, all these kingdoms, literally the things that Jesus was going to do, he was coming to claim his inheritance. The devil was saying, you don't have to die to do that. All you have to do is bow down and worship me, and I'll give you all these things. It doesn't have to be so hard. So praise God. Jesus said no. But I mean, like, that's the opportunity. So then later, and obviously later in the Gospel of Mark, he tells them, like, you can exchange your soul for things. So here's an interesting video of likely a rapper. Or do you want to play some?
One more thing I would say is a lot of people, like when you talk about the soul, it's different than your spirit, just so you know. And I would almost go to say that you can sell your soul and you can still be saved, like, and it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. And I would say that your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay. And your spirit is different. Your spirit is something that is in the spiritual realm. But your mind and your will and your emotion, think of it that way. I mean, there's a lot of debate on like what's the difference between a soul and a spirit, but this is the best sort of way that I've seen fit to explain it. It's your mind, your will, and your emotions. And your spirit is who you are. Okay.
And some people would say that you can't sell your soul because obviously Christ can redeem you no matter what you've done. That's true, but, and I'll say with a big but here, is the fact that God can solidify your rebellion as he did with Pharaoh too.
Oh yeah.
So if you sell your soul, is Christ more powerful than the devil? Can God do anything he wants to? Absolutely. But he's not going to force you to choose him either. And so sometimes God solidifies other people's rebellion against him. So he's like, if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. And I'll validate this deal that you made with him. So some people are too far gone. Again, that's not really up for us to decide who are too far gone. But yeah, this is a really interesting video from this rapper. Of course, like I said, I often remind you guys that I'm a suburban white guy, so I'm a little bit hip, but not quite hip these days to like the most current rappers. So this rapper I've never heard of, but this was a very interesting interview. Check this out.
I love that we both thought of the same exact video too. We both knew.
Hey, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah, I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? And like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. No, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, no, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talk to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at him, like, bro, you playing a game. Like, they're like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? Keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let him peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you got to let them do is just do what they want to do to you just for a night. Do some gay, basically do some gay. They doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. I don't got no service. But people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. On the way up, we go all the way up, like in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. So then that's what I try. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's. Okay? He said, we're not gonna take you get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change game in front of me. You see Venom, like
yeah, like
Spider-Man.
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. Probably about this wide. Face change. I'm like, what the? Like it's probably about like right here. Like, see somebody morph into something.
Yeah,
it's like that. It threw me all the way off. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you gotta push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
He smack a mailbox. So now he hit the button and he get up out of there. He hit the button and get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, let me get in the back of your truck. He looking at me like, yeah, no. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck, bro. Please, just take me down. Take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. Like, people on camera, you ain't got to believe me. I don't care. I really saw this.
I believe it.
And it made me, that's what made me know that the devil and God was real.
Dang. That is a very ominous, epic story. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've heard it from people, almost same exact stories. It is like, it's very real. Like even hearing that. Yeah, I feel so bad for that situation.
Isn't it interesting though too that he was taken to the top of a mountain?
Yeah,
to make that offer. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like I just mentioned, that Jesus was taken to a very high place, and he was seeing all the things that he could have. And of course, he gets taken up to the top of a mountain, and they got all these super nice cars that his heart's desires, and he says, "Hey, how do I get those cars?" Well, let me tell you how you get them. You might not like it, but you know it'll be over quick. I mean, yeah, that's really interesting. That specifically from what I've heard, from what I've heard, obviously, is from in the rap game. That is like the most common thing. It's kind of like either you have to off somebody who's close to you, or you got to do some stuff that that masculine, godly men do not want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of like that whole secret society stuff where I don't know how uncommon it is. You know, I've heard rappers talk about this a lot, and I mentioned actually on one of our last podcasts I was talking about there was a really interesting YouTube account called Unplug 'Em, and this guy I want to say that he was a Detroit rapper, and he was really talented. I think he was coming up like in the early '90s, and then you've never heard of him other than his YouTube account because he was not willing to compromise himself in this kind of way. But like this story that guy told, I mean, not necessarily all the supernatural stuff, but just the deal he was given in order to be successful. That story is so common, the things he said. And yeah, like I said, I don't know that it's unique to rappers. It could be this is how secret societies work. You do something you would never do unless you were offered a lot for it. And then when you do it, now they own you on all kinds of ways. They could either humiliate you, obviously do stuff to your family because you probably take other oaths and vows and stuff like that. But yeah, like that's the kind of thing. And yeah, so then they give you all the things, and then they own you, and then they can manipulate you, and then they're like, oh yeah, the contract you sign right here might not necessarily be an actual contract, but it's like something that they know that they made that deal. They gave consent for what came next.
And there's so much more to this, guys. And when I said I'm gonna like the button, guys, push the like button or share it or whatever. But today I'm gonna teach you how to sell your soul. Not really, but like I'm gonna tell
you teach them how not to do it, Brian.
I'm gonna tell you how it happens. Okay, so that way you are aware of what it is. Okay, because this happens even in relationships, guys. You can sell your soul for a relationship and you don't even realize it. And the really important part about understanding this is that it's when you are doing a thing that compromises your ethics, your values, or what you know is right in your heart, This is how you sell your soul. And so there comes a point, and a lot of people that are in the industry, a lot of celebrity people. I just talked with a gentleman just the other day who was actually right next to Trump, and he was involved in all kinds of stuff. And I asked him, he was like, well, he was involved in Kim Kardashian. He was dating Paris Hilton's best friend or some stuff. And he was telling me about a lot of things. But, I was explaining some things to him. And I said, hey, listen. And I was like, dude, you're involved in like the occult. And he wasn't even aware of it. He like wasn't even fully aware of how much he was involved in this stuff. And I said, bro, let me just ask you a question. I said, everybody that was in, and he lost it all. He actually had everything and lost it all. So he had the very nice car, the Lamborghini and everything. His house got taken by, I think Machine Gun Kelly or something like this. I forget. Anyways, there's a bunch of stuff related to this gentleman. And he lost it all. But I was like, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. That you were involved in a lot of these people that are dabbling in the occult. And he's like, well, I never really saw like too much of that stuff, like a little bit. And I'm like, of course you didn't. But here's the thing. I was like, there was a point at which you were offered an opportunity to lie and take advantage of someone. And I said, I almost promise you there was a point in your career when this was all going on that you were given an opportunity to take advantage of someone, or take advantage of a situation, or have this opportunity given to you. And it was like a light bulb went off in his head. And he was like, there was. And I'm like, uh-huh. And that point at which you were offered that opportunity to do something nefarious, to lie significantly, or to betray or take advantage of someone, was the point at which you were being offered the opportunity to sell your soul. And see, most people that are in this celebrity world, they don't realize that it's that level of occultic, like this gentleman was talking about. They don't realize that it's that level until it's like so deep in, they don't even know. So what they do is that it starts off so simple. It starts off like, oh, well, I really am trying to make it. I'm really trying, and I don't see any other way to make it. This producer's telling me he's going to give me an opportunity if I just sleep with him. You know what? I'm going to do it. And then it's like, you've just began the contract of selling your soul. Okay. You've just began it. When you do the thing that compromises your ethics, morals, and standards, and you do this, even going into relationships or business deals or other people with other friends or other situations, it don't have to be some signed paper in the, the Illuminati. It doesn't have to be some deal in this, bro. You do this in relationships with people, okay? And there's like, you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna date him, but you know what? I know this goes against my morals, ethics, and compass, but I'm gonna do it anyways, and I'm just gonna do this because I see that he can provide for me, I see that he can do this for me, and blah blah blah. Like, and so people will do this kind of stuff, go against their own personal ethics, and you have begun to sell your soul. And so then it gets a little bit deeper. It gets a little bit deeper after this. And so thankfully, the gentleman I was talking to, he had that opportunity presented to him to do some kind of stunt, basically, that was very, ethically wrong, but a lot of times let's say you have a business with another partner and you're running your business with that partner, and all of a sudden an opportunity comes up where you can take advantage of your partner and win this bigger opportunity by cutting your partner off, and you'll get so much more money and you can get away with it. That is the moment of your offer to sell your soul. That is the moment. It's not just like sleeping, doing this thing, bro. You have begun to do something that betrays your ethics, your morals, and your compass, and your people. And the moment you do that is the moment you begin to sell your soul. And then once you do that, thank you, Mad Pax, you're amazing. And the other guy that donated $10, you're amazing too. Thank you. Appreciate you. But once you begin to do that thing where you have betrayed the other person for your fame, for your opportunity, for your growth, you have begun the path of selling the soul. And this is literally how this works. Love the hat. Epic. But this is how it works. This is how you begin to sell your soul. And so when you understand this process, You'll understand. And so that what ends up happening is that the selling gets a little bit deeper, because once you've done something so morally and ethically corrupt, the demons come and they go, oh, look at this individual. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. And then all of a sudden more come, and then more come. And then another opportunity comes and they go, hey, you know, I know you betrayed that one guy to get into this situation. How about you do this? You might betray someone else a little bit more. How about you come over here and, you know, just you're going to do something for me. You know, you might not like it that much, but you've already crossed some lines. Let's sell your soul a little bit deeper. And they keep doing this, and they keep bringing you deeper and deeper and deeper into a point where you have ethically and morally compromised your entire humanity in a lot of ways, to the point where you fracture yourself and you begin to split, because you don't want to be even, you're so disgusted with yourself and what you've done. A lot of times these people are so disgusted with themselves and what they've done that they don't want to be associated with themselves. So they split their identity. And then you will get two different people. So a lot of people that have sold their soul become like, I don't know, like split personality. Okay. They have become like two people. Like, notice in that video, he mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's interesting that he mentioned him out of all people.
Yeah. Who's, by the way, what was Leonardo DiCaprio invited to what kind of event with? Who was that person that, you know, that recently was in the news? What was that guy's name again?
I'm not sure.
You don't
remember yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Leo and P. Diddy were like tight.
Yeah, and you're like, huh, that's weird. So, but like, you look at Leonardo DiCaprio, and you would never think that he's like an occultist that's banging dudes and gay and taking advantage of people. Like, I mean, like
all his girlfriends are really young too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't look at him and think these kind of things about Leo. You would be like, oh, that guy's so amazing. He's great. He's wonderful, right? That's the way, because he's gone through this trauma. There's a split in Leonardo, and he is two. He's not just one person. He's like two people, and you see these kind of things with a lot of people. Like, okay, and so the fact that he mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio being involved in this goes to hand in hand to tell you that Diddy is also involved in these kind of situations, and they're obviously.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, yeah, Diddy. Well, I mean, I think Diddy's proof that some of these rappers who came out saying all those things were validated by a lot of the stuff that came out about Diddy. Yep. Because you think about somebody like Bad Boy Records and all that kind of stuff, and how much influence somebody like him has in the industry. Because if it was like that where Bad Boy was, well, if you're a talented rapper, it's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'll just go across the street to this other producer. But maybe the other producer's just like Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
So you still have to make the same kind of decision. It's just who you're going to do it with. Yeah.
It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. And so these people, though, they do stuff. And then at a certain point, I'm going to tell you right now, if you continue to do things that compromise your ethics and your morals, there will be a point that it will reach you. I know this because of talking to a lot of people that dealt with this stuff. There will be a point where you have done enough ethical, moral compromisations where all of a sudden you either split your identity completely and you don't even know what's going on and you're disillusioned, or if you're aware, at a certain point, all of a sudden you will begin to hear the voices. Okay? And the voices come in, and they will either come to you in your dreams, and the spirits will come, and they'll say, hey, make this final agreement with us now that you know what we are. You've compromised your ethics, your morals good enough. We've deemed that you are someone that we can utilize because you have bad morals. And see, the demons like people with bad ethics and morals because they can see your intent. They can see it. Like, it's hard to lie to spirits in a lot of ways, but it's easier to lie to a person, especially people that aren't aware of the spirit. It's actually hard to lie to another person, but it's easy to for your spirit to recognize when someone is lying to you. And a lot of people, like even today in the chat, you guys confirm this. A lot of you guys know when something bad is happening, or when your partner's lying to you, or where some situation's negative. You can feel it inside of you. That's your spirit recognizing it. And so, but a lot of people are so turned off to their spirit, they can't tell when they're being lied to or when they're being deceived. They are not aware of this type of thing. And so demons, though, they can tell more on the spirit. So they like liars. They like people that are morally compromised because it's easy for them to control and see what you're actually thinking, and how to manipulate you. So, you know, they're okay with this. And so the demons will eventually, after you've done enough moral compromising things, they will appear to you. They'll show up in your dreams. They will show up either in a vision. They will show up when you're high on some kind of drug. They will show up when you've done something terrible, or you'll begin to hear them almost audibly. It's like almost audibly. You'll begin to hear them talking to you. This is literally what I've dealt with. Tons of people that have dealt this thing. This happens all the time. You do enough moral compromising things, and eventually they say, hey, buddy, we are the ones that have been blessing you. Why don't you give us an allegiance, and we'll continue to. But if you don't, we're going to take all the things we've given you so far. And they're like, usually like, oh my gosh. And then eventually the demons say, give us the things we want, or we take back what we've given you thus far. And usually they don't realize that the things that they've been given were demonically given to them. And so there's situations like Kanye West, for example. Kanye West came to the realization, oh man, this is demonic, okay? But he was so deeply involved that he even sacrificed his mother. For those that don't know, you remember the video where he says, my mom was sacrificed.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He literally
talks
says
about all the people in the rap game too that lost somebody close to them.
Yep, even Michael Jordan. He says Bill Cosby. He lists a bunch of people. And he says all of them have someone close to them that was dead, that was sacrificed. He says it seems there's a lot of those things that go on to traumatize and whatever. And you're like, huh, that's really weird that he's saying this. Now, here's the thing. He got to the point where he began to hear the voices. And once you get to the point where you can hear them talking to you, or they're appearing to you in dreams, because this is how they come to people, once you get to that point, that's when the demons really, really kind of kick it into high gear, and they tell you what they want. And what they want is blood. That's what the demons demand. And they want death, they want blood, they want perversion, they want distortion, they want corruption. If you don't give it to them, they will take away what they've already given you. And you're in some kind of a loop space where you're like, well, this is my life and this is everything I have. And unfortunately, in order to escape the control the demon has, you have to let the demon take what it's going to take, and you have to step away from it. You have to just go, okay, I'm done, and I step away. But a lot of these people, like Kanye West, couldn't walk away from his millions. He couldn't walk away and go, all right, whatever, demon, I don't want this anymore, and walk away from all of it. He tried to keep his cake and eat it too, right? He tried to hang on to the blessings from the demon and the selling of his soul and the sacrificing of his mom in order to be in the position that he's at. He gave the demon what he wanted and realized the demon, it wants more. It never ends. You continue to sacrifice. You must continue to do this. It wants more blood. And he tried to walk away from it, and it doesn't work out too well. Because when you walk away from this, there's so much trauma and hurt and pain. Kanye West would have to admit to what he did involving in sacrificing his mom. He'd have to give up all the money that he's done, that he's taken. He'd have to cut all the deals that he's made with the weird perversion stuff that he's been involved in. He would have to walk away from all of those things, and Kanye West would have nothing and would probably be in prison. And so that's the punishment to restore him selling of his soul. And most people aren't willing to pay the price to get that back. So a lot of people try to run away with what they got, and then they look like crazy people because the demon's like, well, no, you still have my things. I'll possess you. And that empty void in his mind that he's left from all those compromising things, that void space is easily taken over by a demonic spirit because of the guilt and the conviction inside of him that he's never confessed and never done. And this is how demons take advantage of you when they sell your soul. And now Kanye went from, oh, I'm against this, oh, this is bad, to now he wants to start his own corn industry website or whatever nonsense that is now. And then he was making a CD or some soundtrack about praising Jesus. But then he was calling himself Jesus, right? So, you know, like this is like Yeezy or whatever he called himself.
Yeah, Jesus and
Yeah.
Jehovah.
Yeah, and this is what you see is this dichotomy of a person trying to escape from selling their soul. Okay? This is how it works. It's not how you think like this. And people do this selling of their soul even being in, like I said, going in relationships with people, because you're like, this is everything that I want. And you compromise a little bit of your heart and of your mind, and it literally compromises some of your soul, your heart, your mind, your will, and your emotions. And this is it's very sad because a lot of people don't realize that they're doing this kind of thing until it's too late. Like Katy Perry says, regrettably, she was trying to become famous, and and she's just like, and then I sold my soul. And you're like, well, what'd she do? What did she do when she sold her soul? You think she signed some agreement? You think she said no? She slept with the producer. She slept with a person that she knew that was going to get her an opportunity. And then the deeper she did that, the deeper it went. And eventually the demons show up and they begin to talk to you. And then she has to either follow orders to what the demons say, or she loses this lifestyle of pyramid thing that she's built and all the things that she's grown to get that. They'll come for it because the demons own it. They've given it to her. They can take it away just as fast as they've given it to her. The money, the spirit of mammon, you can't keep the money that you've gained from these kind of things. Like even if they try to save the money in a bank account, the demon has such a right to that money that the demon will possess another person and they'll rob them. They'll rob their bank accounts. I've heard of these situations where it's like they tried to hold on to the money and the money somehow got stolen by some hacker. Okay? Like you can't hang on to these things because it's not yours. It belongs to Satan. And so like if they've given it to you, they can take it away and do what they want with it. So this is a process of understanding it. And again, it's a slow process. It's not just like boom, the devil showed up and I signed an agreement. So a lot of people that are involved in witchcraft and the occult and all this stuff, they don't know they've done this. Okay, they don't even realize that they've done these kind of things or been involved in it. Okay, so a lot of times people want to be like, they're evil, they're a part of the agenda. Half of them don't even know that they're a part of the agenda, by the way. They're just oblivious to it, but they've done things that have compromised their heart and their soul to the point where they're at now. And they're just questionable at best of their things. So like I wonder about like certain individuals, like have they gotten to the point where they begin to hear the voices or have the dreams where the demons and the entities come to them? You know, but a lot of people, they do drugs. And I think Alex Jones talks about this, about them going into parties where they're doing drugs to get the messages from people, the executives and the officials, you know what I'm talking about? And
well, I know all those really high profile like CEOs and things like that. They do psycho what do they call them? Psychedelics. They do all kinds of things that now they call them mind expanding drugs.
Yep.
You know, which is interesting, yeah, because it's like that they have contact with entities to give them the messages, the ideas.
Yep. Because the messages aren't as clear when they're in people's heads. So a lot of times the demons will persuade you into doing types of drugs to take advantage of you more. And so like doing types of things to speak to you more clearly. You know, and they try to get you to a space where your brain is broken. That's what they're trying to do. Because the more broken your brain is, the more control the demon can utilize your body and control you. They want you to be in a space where you're so zoned out, you don't want to exist. You don't want to exist in your body. You just want to channel out. And when you channel out, the demons channel in, and then they control you. That's why you see two different types of personalities in a lot of these celebrities. Or like, who is that one? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle did this. He actually had a moment where he started freaking out because he realized he was getting really famous and popular, and then he disappeared and went to Africa, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like escaped.
Supposedly.
Yeah, so he just like escaped because they were coming for him and giving him money and opportunities. And those money and opportunities were getting really, really big. And when he was like, oh shoot, he was given a show, and then he had like a freak out moment
Well,
where,
he had that show,
mm-hmm,
and it became very successful, the Chappelle Show on Comedy Central.
mm-hmm,
And then he was given a
mm-hmm,
$50 million deal, which back then, I mean, right now it's still a lot of money, but I mean, like back then it was like probably one of the biggest deals in all of TV. And it was strange that he just supposedly went crazy. Like
yep,
these guys often go crazy. And he left. And of course, I was young when that happened. So I thought, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he run away? I mean, that seems like awesome, like what he got. But yeah, then when he eventually spoke publicly about it, it was kind of like, that that deal came with strings.
yep,
What kind of strings? And they tell you when people will listen. Yeah, often you hear that kind of stuff when they actually talk about what they tried to get them to do. And of course, they always talk about putting these guys in dresses too.
Yep, yep.
Some kind of humiliation ritual. But the dress is that something that they're showing to show another level of compromise that they've
It's just
done
another, yeah.
behind the camera, like when the cameras were, well, maybe not all the cameras were off. Not the movie cameras were not rolling. You know what I'm saying? Is that code to say what they have took the deal that rapper said no to on the top of that mountain?
Yeah. It's just more levels of depravity. And like Dave Chappelle, after he freaked out and disappeared, he comes back, and his cousin, I guess it's his cousin, does an interview, and the cousin, literally, you can look up Dave Chappelle's cousin's interview, and you can see what Dave Chappelle's cousin says, because Dave Chappelle's cousin apparently was good friends with Dave Chappelle until he disappeared after this moment, freaked out, left, and then came back, and Dave Chappelle's cousin was like, Dave ain't the same. Like, they're like, Dave is not the same person when he left and he came back. He doesn't talk to him anymore. He doesn't call him anymore. Dave Chappelle does not like communicate. He came back with a different behavior. His cousin was just like, there's a lot of differences in Dave, and the cousin was very concerned. And so you can look up the interview about that. And another one that's also pretty interesting is people like Trevor Moore. This is another one you guys should look up. You know Trevor Moore? JP,
oh
you
yeah,
know
Trevor Moore, yeah, from The Whitest Kid You Know.
Yeah. So Trevor Moore,
a lot of funny skits.
Yeah, a lot of funny, like kitty history, just like ours. That one's pretty fun. That's a pretty funny
Yeah,
one.
when he was like the little kid's substitute teacher for a minute.
Yeah.
Telling about the moon landing, 9/11, and how the Bushes were in that worship Satan.
Yeah. And he's not joking. He's not joking. And the funny thing is, but he made it like I don't even know how Trevor Moore got this position who he was at, bro, making this kind of content, and then they killed him. They actually killed the guy. So Trevor Moore, rest in peace, buddy. Like, feel sorry for you, man. But he did something. I feel like to some degree he was kind of doing the Lord's work, trying to like expose some of this. But Trevor Moore made a bunch of videos and somehow got on Comedy Central, and then literally made a mockery of the Illuminati offer. So if you type in Trevor Moore Illuminati into Google and watch the video, it's pretty spot on. Like literally, like spot on exactly what they do. And after that video, they killed him. He supposedly died by falling down the stairs. Okay?
They did say his alcohol content in his body was really high, but it doesn't mean that somebody else couldn't have been involved in that.
Bro, stairs don't kill people very often, I don't think. So I don't know. So your own stairs in your house.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it does.
Fishy.
It was kind of suspicious as many kind of controversial subjects he was touching on. We played that clip on JT's mixtape. I think I ended up having to cut it out of the video because it got copyright, but it was the clip where he had some kind of little Justin Bieber lookalike, and it was like the song was, "Help me, my parents sold me to a big producer." Yeah, so it was all about. I mean, and so this was like 10 years ago or something like that, maybe longer than that. And he's clearly saying that. So it's not only that you can sell your own soul, but like it's like the parents sold Bieber's soul to these producers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're making a different kind of sacrifice. They're sacrificing their child, much like the Israelites once let their sons and daughters go pass through the fire of Moloch.
Yep.
Because they were given things by making a compromise in a different way. Like I said, it's kind of the same way that you have these people really close to these celebrities. I mean, it's the amount of like children and family members that pass away that are related to the ultra famous is just, there's just, the odds are just, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, there's statistically, it's probably impossible, the amount of death surrounding these celebrities.
Oh yeah.
So again, if there's nothing new under the sun, as Solomon once said, I think that's the new version of it for sure.
Yeah, and then the so the other thing I would mention is that when it comes to the selling your soul, people do this all the time with their children. They sell their souls by sacrificing, offering their children up as trannies. You know, you're literally there. You're encouraging this ideology of I'm not gonna say it probably because we'll get flagged or something. But the this tran ideology but is being perpetuated, okay? And the parents know they're doing it, but they're doing it. Like, have you seen the moms that are doing this where they're just like, you can tell it's like a 5-year-old and they're doing it and they're like, my child really likes this, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, no, your child doesn't. You're doing that to them so that you can get famous on the internet, so that people will look to you and go, oh, wow, you're so amazing and supportive. You're selling your soul, woman. That's what you're doing. You're selling your soul, and you're offering your child as a sacrifice to do so. That's what you're doing.
It's like a vegan cat.
Yes.
We know those don't exist other than when you have a parent or a cat owner who decides their cat's vegan. No cat decides that on their own.
No. And it's disturbing and it pisses me off. It's like, dude, that is disgusting. You are an evil, wicked, vile person that's doing that. Okay. Now again, yeah, definitely Mad Bags. I feel the same way. So like, here's the thing, like, it is wickedness. And like, you know, and here's the thing. I don't want to promote hate. Okay, guys? Because I was talking about this the other day, I think with JT too, but we were talking about like, anybody that's a part of the agenda, like, we have freedom of speech, but we don't really have freedom. You don't really have freedom of ideas if they're logical. You do have freedom of speech if you promote hate and anger and division. So I'm not trying to promote hate and anger division, just so you guys clear. Like, we need to love these people out of these circumstances, and we need to wake them up to what's going on. But yes, they're selling their soul. And another one that's a good interview I think you guys should watch is Tom Althouse. He's the dude that wrote the movie for The Matrix. He's actually the original author of The Matrix. And he wrote the script and everything. And it's actually a Matrix, Oblivion, and one other movie he wrote all together. And they were in his one story. And he talks about Keanu Reeves sacrificing one of his children, I think, Keanu Reeves. And he talks about some stuff that, you know, Tom Althouse said he was involved in a cult where they were basically a sex cult molesting him as a child, all these celebrities and people. And he wrote the script of The Matrix and Oblivion, and they were one story, but Hollywood took his story and broke it up into like 3 movies. But he said they were all the same story. And he said he wrote this story as a way to escape the pain and suffering that he was dealing with. And I think he called it The Immortals or something like that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. We talked about it a long time ago. Some black woman claimed that she wrote The Terminator and
that's a joke.
Matrix. Yeah. No, she did not. Everyone keeps saying she wrote those movies. And she did not get a settlement, because that's a lie too. Because if you look that up, I know many people have said, "Oh yeah, that was actually supposed to be a Christian story, and it was written by this black woman." No, it was not. No, and it doesn't even sound like that. So actually, if you look into that story, I want to say that they really ruined this guy.
They did, and the woman was a continuation of ruining Tom Althouse. That's what she was. She was, because they've been they've been ruining this Tom Althouse guy from talking, and they even planted the black woman you're talking about. They put her there so that way when you Google the real author of The Matrix, this woman comes up because they don't want you to find Tom Althouse's story. Because when you find Tom Althouse's story about The Matrix, it is mind-blowingly shocking. And there's things that he says, and he's not a good storyteller, by the way. He's like totally like discombobulated in a lot of how he's speaking, which is just goes to show that obviously what he's saying is actually more genuine, because he's not somebody that's like, I'm an excellent fabricator. Like, bro, his story's good, but like when he's speaking, he's not a good speaker. He's only speaking because I think his son, I think he had 2 children, both of which got killed. I think. And bro, he's and his wife left him because they trapped him into like a situation that was really bad too. And he said, and he admits to some of the faults that he's been involved in. But like the thing is, they don't want you to hear his story, so they put out this crazy black woman to like say that she's the author of The Matrix and blah 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 blah. Like, dude, it is a smear campaign so that you don't find Tom Althouse's real story. So I would suggest you guys, if you want to check it out yourself. Look him up. And it's very you know, I'm not going to vouch that everything he said is valid, but I will tell you right now, from my perspective of evaluating him, he seems like he's telling the truth. I don't know about what you think, JT, but he seems
I mean, it sounded a lot more believable than the woman story, for sure. Yeah, when I listened to him, he did seem like he was. I mean, I guess it's really hard to know for sure, but it also does make sense that it wasn't those guys who are now chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrote the story.
Yeah. Oh, bro, talk about that. Do you know what their movie that they did afterwards?
Oh yeah.
The Wachowski chicks.
Yeah, do you guys know? Yeah, so the supposed writers, like the ones we're told wrote The Matrix.
The Wachowskis.
Yeah, they were the Wachowski brothers, but now are they the Wachowski sisters, or what are they?
They both went trans.
They changed their name too?
Yeah.
Absolutely bonzo crazy stuff. Like you can't even believe that this is just, it looks just like a meme. But I mean, it's real life as far as we know.
Did you hear the movie that they've tried to make after? Every movie they've tried to make after has been total like nonsense. I think they made a movie after The Matrix they tried to get funded was something about like a lizard person that goes to high school and has like teen drama or some. It was like, what are you reading, Goosebumps or something? Like, what is this nonsense? This is the movie that they try to produce after The Matrix. You're like, this is so stupid that no companies picked up their next movie they tried to pitch. Nobody wanted it. And then they had another movie they tried to pitch or something, and it was also so naively stupid and terrible. I think they ended up getting their second thing pitched, and it was just so bad of a flop. It was like terrible. And so like there's so much to it when you look into it. You're like, clearly these guys did not write this Matrix. This was written by somebody that had a very in-depth thinking with a lot of moving parts and logical stuff to it. Anyway,
and let's be honest, the first Matrix was the only good one out of all those ones. Did the Wachowskis, did they do the most recent one, the newest Matrix too?
I don't know, man.
Gosh, that movie, I tried to watch part of that movie, was just straight trash.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you really think about it. I mean, the Matrix it would be in my top 10 enjoyable movies, rewatchable movies. So if you wrote that movie, I mean, what did you just have, like, just totally get lucky? Or is it likely that somebody else wrote that movie and you're taking credit for it? Because any of your original work was just straight trash.
Yep.
Trash.
Yeah. There is something also interesting in The Matrix. It says, like, we don't really know what year we're in. And I really like that line, because it's kind of funny when they come out of The Matrix. They're like, we don't know where we're at. It's kind of like a lot of what I think might be going on in the world today. Like, we have no clue where we are at. It's so much like The Matrix. It's kind of comical. But yeah, the interesting stuff, guys, is like understanding that there is a lot to more to what's going on in the world, and a lot more to selling your soul than people just signing some paper and doing things. And I think Tom Althouse even, I think he talks about like how they were involved in it, because he talks about Keanu Reeves doing some like terrible, insidious things.
Who's not a good actor, so it does kind of track.
He's like the same person in every movie he's in.
Yeah, he's whoa.
Yeah,
like that's his acting range. Right there. I mean, he was likable as Ted Theodore Logan in Bill and Ted's, but nobody saw Bill and Ted and thought this guy's going to be some action star after this.
Action star for sure.
No way. I mean, nobody thought that. And yeah, I mean, I guess he's likable enough, but he's not a very good actor, really at all. And yeah, I didn't hear that he had somebody, a child, pass away, but I guess I'll have to look that up to see if that's accurate.
Yeah, there's something else related to it. And the thing is, it's really, and it doesn't mean that, like, again, these people, like Keanu Reeves, like, they're just as much lost and confused and broken as anybody else, guys. We can't hate them, okay? We can't hate them just because they've done these terrible things, because, again, you gotta understand, it starts off little. It starts off little, and then all of a sudden it gets more and more and more and more to where you're just like, it will be basically like more and more stuff that gets to a point where their compromised things are just like, they don't even realize how compromised they've become, and so it's like, you can't look at them and go, man, you're just the evilest incarnation, how could you do things? It starts off as something insignificant, and then as it grows, their compromisation just keeps growing. So they hate themselves too, by the way, guys, just so you know. Like, a lot of these bad people, a lot of these people absolutely can't stand themselves to the point where they aren't even in their body and they channel out. So they're not there.
Oh, check this out, Brian.
Yeah.
So look this up. So Keanu Reeves and his girlfriend at the time, Jennifer, I think Sime, had a daughter named Ava, they named her, who was born stillborn, about 8 months in their pregnancy. And then, so that was in December 24th, interesting, Christmas Eve, 1999. And then in 2001, his girlfriend at 28 died in a car accident.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
That's,
I wonder if the baby was born stillborn. I wonder if it was born in a hospital, or if it was born at home or something. That's a really.
I can look to find out, but yeah, that's kind of suspicious.
Yeah, yep. It's very, very suspicious situations, and like, these are a lot of these celebrities have suspicious situations that are just like, bro, this is, it's not good. So the a lot of these people, though, again, they hate themselves. We don't need to be hating them, by the way, guys. We need to be loving them and praying for them and hoping that they come out of this. I wish Keanu was not involved in the occult, bro. I really do, because I kind of like that guy. I kind of liked him. He seems cool. But honestly, when you start to look into these things, you're kind of like, man, even Keanu? Yeah, even Keanu. So sad. Like, I feel.
Yeah, and he's supposedly one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, right?
Yeah. Supposedly, right? Yeah, and he's humble seeming. So, but of course you would be humble if you have all the money in the world and you're a millionaire and you've done terrible things. Maybe, there's there's two parts to him. So some people split themselves. And there's a whole nother half to that person that you just don't know about. So this is all about, just like Keanu, we're all affected. Yeah, there's a lot of people are, they're broken. Everybody's broken, guys. And, people have done things. It's like some people have sold their soul for a whole lot less than what Keanu may have sold his soul for. You know what I mean? Like, some people.
Yeah, well, that's the sad part is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that at least the people in Hollywood in the music business, they sell their souls for something that most people want. Yeah. I think the truth is that a lot of people sell their souls for way less than that. Or they give it away for free. And I think that's what you were also talking about, how not everybody sees the kind of things that some of these people see, probably because the devil doesn't need to show them anything.
Yeah.
He can have, I got you right where I need you to be. I do think it's interesting that that it's the most common, at least the meme of somebody selling their souls is the most clear in the music business. Because the music business, it just seems from the outside looking in as the absolute most corrupt business there possibly is. Because I know I've heard Prince talk about this. It's like you make a deal with these record companies and then they own all your music like forever. And even the things you want to write later. And it's like these people can't get out of these deals that they made. And when you hear about these deals, like you think about like a band that you liked in high school. And then you think like, oh man, the song was on the radio all the time. They were touring the world. They were doing all this stuff. And you would have thought, oh, these people were like mega rich. But you find out that they actually were just given a loan by these record companies. And they really never had any of that money. It's the record company had all the money and all the power over them. And it kind of is like they're like indentured servants. And they're always like trying to pay off their debt that they can never pay off. Yeah, can you imagine that? It's like you get a deal like this, you give it, especially like a group of young people, and you give them like a $5 million loan. You know what I mean? And like, okay, now you pay this off. But then, of course, the record company's charging you for the bus, for the plane, for all the things, all the promotion, and all that stuff. Yeah, and then those people really actually own nothing from it.
Yep.
And then they, of course, they think they're rich. They probably go out and buy a big house, fancy sports car, and they don't own any. They don't really have any money, and they don't have any regular revenue coming in because these people have all the money, and that's where I think it's probably like you even have to maybe double down on that deal you made with them, right?
Yeah, it does get a lot deeper.
Yeah, because then they really compromise you. Because they own, they really do own you, and there's there probably is a second part to that deal. Hey, well, could help you out here. You want to take it to the next level where you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, that debt, and then that's probably when they become Taylor Swift.
Yep. And you know it's super interesting because it's like a lot of people get way less, like I was saying, like they get way less for what they sell their soul for. And it's I know a guy that sold his soul to get his sister off of drug addiction to an entity that spoke to him, and it worked. And then his sister came off drugs, and then totally got free from drugs for like 2 years, and then he got schizophrenia like within that time, and then the sister went back on drugs. And he ended up with schizophrenia. And they were like, we told you, we got her off drugs for you. You sold your soul to us. We got her off for a little while. We didn't say when or how long. And then he was being tormented by that for like a long time. In fact, there's a lot of people sell their soul and they don't get a good deal out of it at all. It's called a Faustian bargain.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say is that it's like, they're going to make a deal, but the deal has a twist to it.
Yes.
So you get what you asked for specifically, but you're like, well, you should have said forever. You should have asked for forever because the deal for your soul's forever. So you should have asked for the same thing for your sister. And that's, it's so common in the culture, showing you in the movies like how that is. It's like, I would do anything to get this. And then some guy just perks up. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Did you say anything? Well, it just so happens I can make that happen.
Yep. And I want to tell you right now, like a lot of these names of a lot of these people, it's prophetic. Just so you guys know, like it's prophetic. Like Faustian, Fauci, that's where do you think his name comes from? I'm not even joking. I know it's like I know it sounds silly, but like it's very like bro, Tim Ballard, Ball Lord. That's his last name. The dude that made the Rescue the Children nonsense stuff that I've talked about before. His last name is Ball Lord. Like his Lord is Ball. So I don't know. It's a little bit questionable. I'm just going to say it's a little bit questionable on some of these people. The Lord allows certain people to become famous with questionable names, it seems. And their names are a lot of times prophetic. Like Anthony Weiner. Like, bro, come on. Or like John Podesta, pedo esta? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Or Marina Abramovich, Abrahamic witch. Like, it's in their names, guys. Like, it's prophetically listed. Like, God allows these things to exist. There's people, even their first names are things. Even their last names are stuff. Like, bro, and it's a prophetic awareness to warn you, like, hey, yo, this ain't good. That's what I kind of honestly, obviously, I think this is why Jesus changes people's names, by the way. If my last name was Ball Lord, I would definitely change it. I'm just saying.
You know, we were talking about that on one episode, is that what you see in the Bible is when somebody's names change, it turns into a description of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like by your works, by your fruits, God will name you, will change your name to, because that's what you will be when he identifies who you are.
Yep.
I mean, that's what that's why, Jacob's name was turned to Israel, because Israel means I wrestled with God.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's, he changes Simon's name to Peter. Peter means stone. And then later he declared, on this rock, I'm going to build my church.
Yep.
I think I think God gives us names and I think that's what it means in the book of Revelation later, that he's saying, I'll give you a new name.
Yep.
Your new name will be based on who you are.
Yep. Nick Cage. Yes, Nick is caged.
Nick Cage is a national treasure.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
P. Diddy, diddling is a term, guys. That's not a good one.
That's one of those things where, like, when you found out Puff Daddy was gay, you're like, oh man, it seems real obvious now. Like, that name is kind of weird, isn't it? You know,
bro,
Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. There is a prophetic thing in all of you, in your spirit, and you can recognize it. When you hear the names of things, you immediately feel it in your spirit. You go, what the heck? Why is that the name? That feeling, that's your spirit telling you something's not right. When you first heard Nickelodeon, I guarantee you, every one of you went, what? That's a weird name. Yeah, because Nick Calodeon means I don't care about God. So guarantee you, y'all thought that. I promise you. You knew in your spirit was like, something's not right here. Like, yeah, that's your spirit recognizing. And when you hear things the first time and you go, that's weird. Yeah, it's because it is weird. That's why. Like, and when you hear their names, you go, what a weird, like when you heard Siri for the first time about your iPhone, y'all went, Siri? What? That's a weird name. Well, I guess nobody's really named that very often. So, it's Iris backwards. That's what it is. Okay. And it's literally, the Iris is the messenger of the gods. It's an occultic name. So, yeah, you knew it in your spirit. You just ignored it.
Could it also be from Sirius, the star?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's connected to both, I'm sure.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so, but it's literally the iPhone is the media delivering you the message. That's what Iris did. She was the messenger of the gods, delivering you the message. And so through the media, through the social media, that's why it's called the social media, because it's mediumship. But like, you guys will hear these names. I mean, you can write them in the chats. The names that you hear that you recognize might be kind of probably problematic. Yeah, Nickelodeon means a jukebox. No, Nickelodeon was supposedly, you put a nickel in it, and it was this jukebox thing back in the day and it wasn't a jukebox. It was like a piano thing that played on its own or whatever. The Nickelodeon, but it's nickel is from Nike, the god Nike, and Odin. Nickelodeon. Okay, it's victory of Odin. Like, I'm not even joking. You can look into this relation. They'll try to say, oh no, it's nickel. And Odeon is from the amphitheater of Odin. That's what it's from. No, that's not what it is. It's Latin, and Nick Calodeon means I don't care about God. And if you tried to type Nick space Kello into Google right now, it will tell you I don't care. Okay? And then if you type Deo from Latin or Deo, it will say God. And if you type Deon, it will say det, but det is not actually what Deo. Deon is a derivation of Deo.
And so Nickelodeon is obviously every kid who got who was working there, likely just like that Beebs song. My parents sold me. Because you think about it, yeah, like someone you mentioned that the Nickelodeon's whatever the slime logo kind of looks like the Epstein Islands, Little St. James, and then you also have the weird foot logo with the dude who was like the producer over there who had some kind
Brian
of
Peck.
Yeah, strange foot fetish. And yeah, I don't know about every one of them, but I mean, you think about how many child stars came out of Nickelodeon and became totally messed up.
Oh, totally.
Afterwards. What's the percentage? Who was the one guy who was in the? Didn't he? I can't remember if he started on Nickelodeon and then he was over on Disney. Who was the? Gosh, who was that kind of
Brian
pale?
Peck was the.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think about the kid who died or the young guy who died real young. I don't
remember.
I forget. He was on like The Descendants and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure he was on all those Nickelodeon shows too. Could be wrong. He could have just been Disney, but yeah, Disney, Nickelodeon is really much difference between the two of those brands.
Yeah. Your soul. Yeah. The sole of your feet. Yeah, exactly. And Nick means nothing, by the way. It's Latin. It's like to nick something, to cut it off. That's why it's Old Nick is a name for the devil, or Old Saint Nick, which is what became a derivation of Old Nick. But you know, it's all satanic. Anyways, either way, this is a video of selling your soul and information and all kinds of other information, I guess. And I think that's kind of all I got to talk about. I don't know if there's anything in the chat we should mention.
I mean, you could put out a request for questions if they want, because this was shorter than the typical stream.
Yeah. What's the anybody got any questions you want to put in there?
Yeah, I'll have to look up what that one guy's name who was in The Descendants who died. Let's see if he worked for Nickelodeon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy. Appreciate you. Oh boy, don't look at the chat. Says the show with Elijah.
Oops.
I guess I'm not seeing anything in Latin. Okay, blah blah blah. Well, I think we'll maybe the devil has a foot fetish. Well, the devil definitely has a foot fetish. He's got a fetish for your soul, for sure, we'll say.
I was thinking of that guy Cameron Boyce, who died real young. Let's see if he did anything on Nickelodeon.
Bro, we'll hang out someday, Mad Pax. You're awesome, bro. And yes, the Lord Jesus can restore your soul, but again, some of these things you gotta give up the stuff that you've earned in this life. You know, Jesus says to the rich man, sell everything you have and come and follow me. You know, God has grace for some of these people in these situations, and maybe you'll walk away okay. But, you know, you try to walk away and you don't give back what the demons gave you. A lot of times it don't work out very well. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, Kanye. Yeah, it's not clone, guys, because we can't speed up aging very well. So, a lot of times clones aren't what's happening. It's demon possession. Like they're getting their mind split and another entity is going into them and it changes the way their faces look. Just
Skin
like that guy was
suits.
saying. Yeah. Well, just like that way that guy's saying how that dude's face changed, he was saying in that interview. Like, bro, he was saying that because like straight up, bro, when we pray for people, you'll see their face shift. Like their muscles like shift. It's really weird. It's very weird. But you'll see it a lot of times when we're casting demons out, bro. It's crazy.
How about our discussion about how if the devil can appear to be a man, could a a spirit, potentially even a fallen angel spirit, could it manifest into somebody who looks like somebody else?
I mean, maybe.
That's kind of what it shows.
That's
kind of what it shows in. That's what it shows in those movies. If, I mean, an angel could take the form of somebody that's recognizable to you, couldn't they?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed is like again, we have freedom of speech, but we don't have freedom of diversity in thoughts. Okay, the only time you get freedom of speech is when you're promoting division. So a lot of times they want us to be divided against each other and think that these people are the devil and they're evil and they're they're actually the devil and they're actually in skin suits.
But what if they really are the devil?
I know, but that's what they want us to think, and that's why they allow us to promote things. Like Nick Fuentes is able to like say stuff that they've blocked him a lot, but now they're like because what he's it's like right now, if you wanted to say something reasonable that sounded sort of like Kanye, let's say Kanye West, for example, says something like, oh yeah, the small hat people are controlling the industry. Here's this, and this. And he like gives evidence for it, right? That video is going to get blocked.
What about when he was like, what about when he said that I was a doctor and he was like, I'm not going to say who it was, or what did he say? And he's like, oh, it was a Jewish doctor. Like the very next thing he said.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he comes out and he says something reasonable, they're going to block it. But if he comes out and says, they're the devil and we need to kill all of them, they'll let that be promoted. Because if you're speaking an idea of division, but you're promoting hate with that division, you have freedom of speech. But if you're speaking an idea of division, but you're promoting love and unity, like saying, hey, look, I know we don't agree, but we need to come together, they don't want that. The fact that if we speak life and unity coming together, because that's where the power is when we come together. They want freedom of speech if you're divided. They want that. They want freedom of speech to divide you, only to divide you. But if you're speaking freedom of speech and your freedom of speech is unity and love, they're not going to let you talk. They don't want you to talk. That's it. So just keep that in mind. Guys, don't hate each other and don't divide against one another. Just love everybody. If I can tell everybody one thing, don't cut people off and don't block them and deny them and hate them. Just love them.
Don't block people?
Well, don't just like,
What if you're a content creator?
You're a content creator. Maybe sometimes we have to block you guys because you're crazy. Maybe.
I've had to block the same person in this chat about 15 different times because all his little puppet accounts.
Yeah. but just love people, guys. Just love people, and just try to walk in unity with everybody and try to find peace. And it's like, bro, some of you guys are so demon possessed. I know the things I say like might piss some people off, and like in some situations I might have to shut you up. But like for the most part, I would have a conversation with you still and just be like, hey, look, we can talk afterwards or something. Everybody, you all can get on my prayer calls. This is the demonracers.com website, and there's prayer calls on there, and then I'll pop in there. So, for the most part, but yeah. Anyways, just try to love one another. Try to love your community. Love the people around you, and promote positivity. Even if these people have sold their souls, you don't need to be like, you're the devil. Like just pray for them because they're just as broken and lost and hurting and suffering as anyone else, guys.
Can I play the Jewish doctor clip from Kanye?
No, because I don't want to get blocked.
It's so funny though.
I don't want to get blocked, bro.
I don't think you get blocked for that. I mean, it's your channel, but I thought that clip is just hilarious.
Do you have it already up or something?
Yeah, I do. It's not bad.
Okay, go. Kanye said this.
Oh yeah, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh okay.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I got it. Well, where are we at? Gosh, this stupid thing. Sorry, guys. It's funny though. If you guys have not seen this clip, it's just hilarious.
I'm not going to say what race, what doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Kanye's
you gotta admit, Love him or hate him, that clip was funny.
I don't think he intended
you know
it
I
to be
can't
funny.
say that. It was Jewish. It was a Jewish doctor.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate y'all. And don't sell your soul, and don't do things that compromise your heart and what's inside of you. Those feelings that tell you I shouldn't do this thing. Don't do that, okay? Because that's how it starts, y'all. It just gets worse. So don't do those things, and walk in unity and love everybody. And try to encourage people to be friends, even when we disagree.
Yeah,
Always.
Don't compromise. Don't grieve the Holy Spirit. Listen to God's voice and do not go against it.
Yep. Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and see you later.
God bless.